Hello there everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am sneaking in today with 5 more fast cards featuring the October Glory of Autumn subscription kit from White Rose Crafts. If you missed my previous 5 fast cards, I will put up a little tag or card there so you can click on it and see the first 5 cards I made using the kit. But today I am making 5 more fast cards, all with the exception of just a handful of things like my card bases, my score tape, and I think maybe a couple of inks. Everything I'm using is from the kit, including this neutral brown that I use to distress the edges of this printed paper that I got from the card kit. I pre-trim everything up because nobody wants me to watch me fight my paper trimmer. My paper trimmer is awful. I am so in the market for a paper trimmer that isn't awful. But I pre-trim all the papers. They're originally 6x6 papers that I trimmed up to fit just smaller than my A2 card frame here. And I used the printed cardstock, and then on top of it, I decided to go ahead and put the Aspire, Aspire pearlized bronze metallic paper. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock that I trimmed down to 4.5 or 4.25 by 5.5 because I knew I'd use them more like that than I would in the 8.5 by 11. So I trimmed that one down even more and put it in the center of my card frame. I knew I wanted to use a sentiment from the stamp set that comes from the card kit, and the sentiment is a very, very simple, happy fall, since this card is incredibly fall-esque. I can tell you right now, I went ahead and pulled the brads out that are in the card kit and knew I wanted to use them, and actually contemplated using them as traditional brads and like poking them through the paper, but it makes things bulky and sometimes a little bit more difficult to make the paper lay flat, so I just broke the brads off. No, that's not how you're supposed to use them. Yes, that's how I used it. I'm okay with that. A little glossy accent. This glossy accent was not in the card kit. That's just something from my personal stash. I'm trying to point out the not in the kit. The black ink I used for the Happy Fall, not in the kit. My personal stash. And like I said, there's very few things I use that aren't actually in the kit. But I just glued down the, I glued down the brads and then pulled out the Autumn Harvest Doodles Paper Playground. I can do this. I can name it all without having to look it up. Doodles Paper Playground Sparkle Blend Sequin Mix that is in the kit, and picked out a whole bunch of different sequins that I thought would be fun to work with. If you've never seen the Sparkle Blend Sequin Mixes, they're almost always in the White Rose subscription kits, but they also have their own line. The fun thing about them is when they're gone, they're gone. They're hand blended, and when a set is gone, it's gone forever. And Doodles Paper Playground makes sequins specifically for the kits that you can only get in the kit. And I love this autumn one. So there you go. There's the first card, which is nothing but a bunch of falling leaves and happy autumn colors. My second card, I wanted to look more like a harvest. So I took one of the printed papers from the kit and split it down the middle so that there would be a white seam between the two. Almost like if you see like waves of grain, there's aisles in it. That was at least my ridiculously silly logic. And I took the other half of the pearlized paper that I used from the first card, and using a hole punch from my personal collection of stuff, and that one's over 10 years old. I can't even tell you what it is. It's from when I used to scrapbook for the baby books for the kids. But punched out just some simple circles. Nothing fancy here, just some simple circles. And then pulled out the stickers from the kit and added them to the center of the Aspire paper. I was going to leave the card like that, but then I realized those giant leaves in the sequin mix were perfect to finish this card off. And there you go, very quick, simple harvest card. That's my card number 2. And that one genuinely was fast. My third card, equally as fast. I pulled my favorite paper from the kit, which is this fox paper. I think the foxes were so stinking cute. And then grabbed a coordinating paper along with it. Cut them so they would be smaller than the A2 card frame, but have an even proportion. So like I literally trimmed them so the seam works perfectly. And then I trimmed off just a 1/4 of an inch of orange paper from the provided cardstock in the kit trim them off, but I wanted a nice seam to go all the way through the card. These are the jelly bean soup stickers that are in the kit, and I just took the simple hello and punched out what I needed to. I just love these sentiment stickers. They make it so simple to add a very simple pop of color with your sentiment. This card was so simple and easy. I grabbed the Autumn Red Nuvo drop, added a couple of drops there to the side, and called the card done. And there you go. There's card 3. Simple, but yet, because that paper is so cute, I think the whole card is cute. Now here's where I'm kind of a dork, and was so excited about making this card, even though the feathers initially scared me, I forgot to record it. So there's the finished card, and unfortunately with a kit, you just don't have the materials to remake something. But I want to show you how I made the feather. All I do is take a bone feather and run it across and put a big curve, bone folder, and curve the feathers with it. It's just a couple pieces of paper layered, one of the sticker sentiments and one of the maple leaves, and 3 of the curved feathers to make card number 4. Yes, I'm a dork. Feel free to make fun of me for not recording it. Here's my final card from the 5 more fast cards, and I'm using the provided card in the kit, and it's this beautiful scalloped manila thick. It's really thick. I wish I could show you, and it's textured. It's a great card base. And I think it measures 5 inches by 5 inches. I took a piece of the printed paper and just distressed it with the brown ink in the kit. And then I distressed the edges of the doily provided in the kit with the same brown ink. I wish my hands could actually move this fast. That'd be fantastic. A couple pieces of score tape just in the center of it because I wanted the edges still to be floofy. You'll notice I set it down wrong and was able for once to actually lift it back up and lay it down where I actually wanted it to go. Then I pulled out a piece of heavy cardstock and one of the stamps from the provided stamp, the Scrapberry stamp set, and added brown ink, then the orange ink from the kit, and then another layer of orange ink to get this really nice muted orange. I took the Thanksgiving stamp from the stamp set and stamped it in brown, realized it wasn't dark enough, so pulled out some Scrapberry green. It's their Scrapberry stains, and it was like the perfect color green to go with the paper because the paper actually has some teals in it, and it helped pop each other's colors out. I distressed the edges of the trimmed up paper, heat set it a little bit because it is a pigment ink and it needs a little heat setting if you don't give it time to dry, and let's be honest, I don't give anything time to dry. And some score tape and set it right there in the middle of the card. Then I grabbed a little bit of the raffia from the kit and created a bow. I am the world's worst bow maker. Do not use anything I do here as a tip of how to make bows. I don't make good bows, I just make quick bows, so that you have been warned. But I made a bow and I trimmed off the edges and I added the bow with little glossy accents to the card. Making card 5 almost done. The great thing about this scalloped card is it actually comes with an envelope to pre-fit in, so you don't have to worry about going to find an envelope that would fit this size card. And since I was given the envelope, I wanted to add some stamping to the envelope. So I added a little bit of the brown and a little bit of the orange and stamped out the thing, stamped out the image. And I love the leaf going through the image. And then added the Thanksgiving again, and this time because the inking was so light, the Thanksgiving was able to show up in just brown. And there you go, there's card 5. Thank you so much for peeking in today at the 5 more fast cards. Make sure you go check out the limited edition subscription kit at White Rose Stamps. And thanks for joining me today. Bye!